videos and billboards. If you haven't seen them, we're plastering them all over New England. So he's doing a lot with that. So we're pretty excited about that. Today, I'm going to kind of go a little different. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly shoot over to Rob and Richie for updates on training. And then I'm going to introduce you to our back office team. Let them explain a little bit about themselves, what they're going through, some processes. We'd like to open this up to questions as well. So if you're not comfortable talking, definitely utilize the chat. We're going to try to do this maybe once a month until people are comfortable with the processes on the back end. If they have any questions or things they're confused about, feel free to ask them. These are the people who are processing all of your deals, and we're trying to get you paid out as quickly as possible, or processing your commission slips, or if there's an issue with payouts, this is who you're going to be talking to. We're in the process of making sure each of them has a dedicated phone line, and we will be sending those phone line extensions out to everyone so that if you need to get in touch with someone. First, Rob, do you want to just update what you got going on in training?
Sure. So we have two big ones I want to highlight today. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., Jim will be hosting the virtual compensation model. So that'll be at 2 o'clock, so you can register on the training site for that, and you'll get the link. And then also on Tuesday at 11 a.m., I am actually hosting a Meet Our Attorney with Wendy Kamens from Atlantic Title. She'll be talking about the great in-house program we have for buyers. The attorney, the title, the P&S review, all of that included for a small fee. She'll be answering questions on the closing process, and any questions you guys have. It's going to be a pretty open forum, so bring your questions. I'm really excited about that one. And then starting next Friday, every Friday moving forward, we are going to be doing a company orientation. Now, it's designed for people joining the company, but it's also for any of you here that maybe don't know everything we offer. I was talking to an agent yesterday. She's thrilled about this because she knows she's been here for about 15 years and she knows there's so much she's missing. So this will be a great event for everybody to just learn everything going on within the company. So those are a couple that I wanted to highlight, and I'll throw it over to Richie to tell you a little bit about today's Con Ed class.
Okay, thanks, guys. Today's Con Ed class, we're going to be going through handling objections. So it's more of a sales training type of class. Anybody who is running into a little bit of a snag as far as not being able to get a listing, or running into problems putting offers in and not getting them accepted, we're going to have kind of a question and answer session with the Con Ed today. Again, 2 credits for everybody that participates. We are going to start at 11 a.m. today, right after the meeting with Joe and Rob this morning. So that's what we got going on. Anybody who has anybody for pre-licensing, I'm starting a 2-weekend course tonight, live through Zoom. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, next weekend. And then I'll have a schedule out for October for anybody that wants to jump in on a couple other pre-licensing classes that are going to be live through Zoom. So that's what we got going on right now. Thanks a lot. I'll send it back to Joe.
Let me unmute myself. So the first person, thanks guys. So the first person I want to introduce you to is Jody, who's drinking coffee. Thanks, Jody. Jody is in charge of property management. So most of you know we have a property management division, Andalusian Property Management. Reason why she's on here is we're offering the helping you guys out in Mass, specifically with smoke certificates. If you have any issues there. Also, if you get on a deal and you get a punch list and you're stuck, you're having a problem getting vendors, contractors, we do have maintenance people on staff that can be a resource for you as well. Jody, if you want to unmute yourself and just kind of give people a little bit about who you are, what you're running. And Jody's also going to be helping me out with, I think Jim announced it, we're almost there. We're in the process of possibly buying out a 1,500 unit property management company in Boston. So it's going to open up what we can do. It's going to actually give us more reach down into Mass and utilize a couple more things. So go ahead, Jody, you can introduce yourself.
Hi, guys. I also wanted to add, Joe, I got a request from an agent to do a clean out from a seller needed someone to do a clean out. So that's also something we can add on our list. We have guys with a trailer that can do that, no problem. So I am here in the office. We manage 7 condo associations. We have other individual units that we also manage. And we've had a few requests if an agent is looking for a 3-family home. I think we got a request if we could get tenants in it for. That's absolutely no problem. We can help you guys with all that. Screening and filling your units, managing them, collecting rents, legal stuff we hopefully can start doing eventually. And we're kind of busy in here, but I'm always available. Email or my phone is 603-458-1394. I know I've been asked that before, so.
And I'll just have you, Jody, pop that in the chat when you get a second. So if you open up the chat window, you can type in chat so that everybody can see that contact information.
Oh, good.
So that's there.
Awesome.
Yep. So and with the legal, Jody, you want to get a little bit into legal just so they understand if they have landlords or people they're working with, investors, so they understand the situation or where we at with evictions and that?
Yep. So there is a moratorium right now. Federally, we are not really able to do too much as far as evictions, or even if we were to get a tenant that is delinquent or in arrears. We have been put on hold legally. We cannot even send late notices or add late fees onto anybody's delinquencies right now. We have a letter that we obtained from our attorney. That's as much as we can do with trying to get rent money. Hopefully, once that's up and running, we can help out in housing courts. And we have a pretty good attorney that works with us right now.
So the good thing is we are on top of that. Jody definitely is being, we do have an attorney on staff who's focusing specifically on this issue, as it is affecting all of our investors, and it will be affecting your investors too. Also, if you're selling units, you need to understand what's going on with this. So if you have any questions about that, just make sure you give Jody a call. She's more than happy to help out with that. So that'll work well. All right. Well, thank you, Jody. I appreciate that.
Hey, Joe, can I interrupt? Can I interrupt for a second? I have someone from our customer service center that Jim wanted me to introduce, Lauren.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, bro. Gary.
And Lauren's here, and just wanted to put a face to a voice.
All right.
And Lauren does works at a number of our customer service times here for us, and she's here. And just so you know, there is a live person actually answering the phones here in our Sanford location.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, thanks, Joe.
You gonna let her talk, or you just gonna mute her?
I'll let her talk.
Oh, hi. I'm one of the people that calls and bugs you guys all the time with leads and whatnot. So it's just someone like me.
Good. It's always good to put a face with a voice as we go through this. So thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, take care.
All right. So next, I'm going to give you over to Brittany Abamowitz. Brittany does most of the closings. Actually, she does all the closings for Mass and Rhode Island right now. We've kind of split those between Brittany and Evelyn. So Evelyn's mostly handling Maine and New Hampshire. Brittany's handling Mass and Rhode Island. So I'm going to let Brittany, she's been with us now for about 3 years, Brittany?
2 years.
2 years. She's really taken it over. So I'm going to let Brittany introduce herself, and we can talk with Brittany.
Hi guys. So yeah, like you said, I've been here 2 years, mostly doing closings, but I also log deposits and help with like any little stuff you guys need with closings. one of the main things I would say is just to send closings strictly to the closings email. And if you need a commission statement, I would send that to UAG, because I'm getting a lot of requests for commission statements, even though it should be sent to like under agreements. But besides that, I think the flow has been much better than it's been. And I've been getting a lot of people sending me directly closings, which is making it much faster to get processed.
So Brittany, just so we can know, so is there any certain processes or certain things that we see that, or where do people go to find out if they're confused about what's needed for a closing package or anything like that? Where can they find that information?
I believe we have a packet that we've been sending out, but I mean, even if they reach out to me and they're confused before closing, which a lot of people have been doing, it's been making it much easier. They're just like, hey, Brittany, what do I need? I'm closing in a week, and I can let them know. So by the time their closing is on a Friday, I have everything I need in Dotloop.
So what type of things would hold up a closing from someone getting processed or paid out?
So recently I've been seeing a lot of HUDs unsigned. So I need a finalized HUD. I need an agency disclosure. I need an ABA, which a lot of people try to fight with me and don't want to get that signed if they're working with sellers, but we need it for every deal no matter what, because it protects us legally. Lead paint's been an issue, which we talked about last Zoom, which we need signed by all parties. And then a completely filled out folder front.
So on the ABA, I know a lot of people, like I came from a different company that didn't have that. And the purpose of the ABA is really Jim in Century 21 has ownership of a couple other companies. So we have a vested interest in them. So we have to disclose that up front. So no buyer or seller could ever say they didn't understand that we had a vested interest in this company. So it's really important, even though they may not be using our vendors or using the people we have these relationships with, by law, we have to have that on file so that they recognize that that was disclosed. So that's the purpose of that document. And these are things that, you know, will slow you down, you getting paid out, and there's stuff that you can actually get done right at the closing table even, you know, just make sure they do a quick sign off. Katie's been working on trying to make sure that that's happening, but before we go to her, and if anybody has any questions, put them in the chat. Brittany can look in the chat if you want to respond to any of those, feel free. But I would say the next person would be Evelyn. If we get Evelyn on here, and I'm muted, Evelyn. So Evelyn handles more Maine and New Hampshire. She's also, you'll see her a lot also on when deals fall through and you guys are looking for deposits to be refunded. She handles a lot of that. She handles the wire requests that come into me as well for processing wire requests. And Evelyn, if you could talk a little bit about the wire requests, what we're trying to do with that and how we're trying to get co-brokes paid, you know, more quickly and efficiently, that would be helpful.
Okay, absolutely. Hello, I'm Evelyn. If you haven't met me yet, I've been here probably 5 years. I'm also an agent, so I understand a lot of the pain we all feel. So for wires, the biggest issue I'm having right now, if we're wiring to sellers directly instead of attorneys, is that they're not understanding the whole concept of the wire. I need for them to reach out to their bank and really get their ABA and the account number. That is one issue. The other issue that I have is with closings. Once we create the commission bill, if there's any excess in deposits, we try right away to communicate with the attorneys. Some of the attorneys ignore us, some come back. So it's a 50-50 on the wires. A lot of attorneys, if they prefer no wires, I'd rather that they just let me know that they prefer no wires, and then we make arrangements to make sure that the seller and the co-broke get their funds immediately. The whole concept of the wire is to make sure that everybody gets paid at the closing table versus waiting for the file to come in with a signed HUD and a completed closing packet before we even cut any checks or release any money. So sometimes we do have a delay in getting co-breaks paid if we are not able to wire. So make sure you just communicate with your co-broke. If they want to wire, we're welcome. We can send a co-broke wire, we can send an attorney wire, and we can send your buyers and sellers their wires, but I need all the information up front. The main information that I need for individual is their bank name, their bank address, the ABA, the account number, the individual that's connected to the account number, their full name, the address of their residence that's connected to the bank, their phone number and an email address also connected to the bank account. So that is the main thing that I need for individuals. With attorneys, they're great. They send everything over in writing, so it just makes it so much easier to transfer funds with them. I think that's it on wires. If anybody has any questions or concerns.
So just so everybody knows, the reason why we're pushing wires so much, one, they're trackable. So one of the issues we've been having is we send a lot of checks out in the mail to co-brokes. 4 or 5 days later, they're driving you guys crazy because they haven't got paid. Then you guys call into us and like, hey, we paid them, we mailed it. But we're not going to put a tracking ID on every single piece of check that we mail out. There's just too many. I mean, we're doing, just so you guys understand, anywhere from 15 to 20 checks a day get mailed out of this office. Sometimes more when it's really busy. So if we can do wires, they're immediately trackable. We get immediate confirmation that they've received it. They get their funds a lot faster. Now, I know some people are concerned about it. We have a lot of safeties in place to make sure that people are protected. But people just have to know, other than that, if we're going to be doing a check or we're going to be doing those type of things, they're going to have, there may be delays, and it's not something that we can control. We'll do our best to help out with that. But we can only get it to the mail. So that's a lot of the reasons why we are pushing the wiring, or they can use Deposit Link in just if they're receiving deposits, if we're getting deposits from them through Deposit Link, we actually have the ability to send co-broke funds through Deposit Link as well. So if they're more comfortable with that, we can do that as well. So it seems like the closing attorneys are getting more on board with this, which is helping out a lot, and they're just dealing with cutting checks at closing, which is ideal. But if you have any issues with those type of things, just let us know. Anything else, Evelyn?
No, the only other thing that I also do is the rental links, rental applications. So if you need an application run or a rental link because you have a rental on MLS that you want credit background checks, all I need is the MLS number, and then I can create the link for you. If you're just looking to run credit for just an individual and you do not have a specific property that you personally have listed, we can also do that as well. We have a generic link for that. So either way, you just contact me and I will get the applications over to you. I think that's it on my side.
All right. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Just watch the chat in case there's any questions for you in there as well. So next we have Katie. Katie's a new addition to the team. We've introduced her a couple times. She's been specifically trying to help agents with getting all their paperwork ready prior to close. She's also now doing all the commission statements for the brokers, for the closing attorneys and such. So Katie, if you can introduce yourself, let them know kind of what you're working on. And
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all on Zoom again. So we're working with the internal team here. We're trying to get everybody on the same kind of systems. We're putting systems that we already have in place to kind of niche it down so things can process a lot quicker. One of the biggest things I will say, and I know not everybody does these Zooms, and a lot of you guys that are on here are awesome with your files, so thank you. The folder fronts. So the folder covers that you fill out, I know a lot of people have maybe aren't sure how to fill them out or how much information they have to fill out. The biggest thing is more information, the better for me. I'd rather see a majority of those filled out completely, because if it's not there for the amount of commission bills that we do throughout the day, I have to kind of go around and find all that. I don't always see stuff in the files, so a lot of times I might have a folder cover, but I don't have anything about how you got the lead, who the closing attorney is, who the seller's attorney is, commission splits. You might put just what your total commission is versus how you're splitting it out, things like that. As Joe mentioned, we're trying to push out the funds. So I've been issuing the bills pretty much that if we have excess and we can't pay the co-broke, we're trying to push out the wires to the sellers at the closing table versus them waiting post-closing, because like they said, it's everything with processing. So we usually have to wait on everything from you guys as well as from the closing attorneys, all of those commission checks and things like that. Another big thing is if you're ever on the list side or you're both sides, dual-sided, we can't actually issue a commission bill until we have those deposits logged. So a huge help is either referencing on your folder cover where those deposits are coming from, if they've gotten dropped off, if they're using deposit link, you know, which office, because I know Michelle helps with depositing. I know people come in here and bring checks, or if the buyer's agent dropped it off at our office. A lot of that stuff is we've been chasing around. And I know it gets frustrating for everybody, but we need to make sure we can account that we actually have the funds in-house before we can send them anywhere. So that's a huge thing that will hold up processing for you guys on my end. A majority of everything else, I mean, you guys have been doing really great. We've been really busy, and we've been trying to just work together as a team, getting everybody synced up. So I'll do an initial request for any wires or anything like that, and then Evelyn will take over and she'll do all the direct communication, and then they work together with closing. So I try to go in and review the files as much as possible, and tell you guys if you're missing anything, but we're just so busy. So commission bills are major. If there's ever any questions you guys have on how to fill them out, or if you're doing something correctly, or where you need to look for information, things like that, feel free to reach out. I'm always available. I think that's it.
Thanks, Katie. So yeah, so we this is pretty much what our back end staff is here supporting you guys currently. It's our goal to get you guys paid out as fast as possible. That's our function. We want to work with you to accomplish that. That being said, there's a lot of regulatory things that we have to check off, boxes and such, that we have to make sure that we have backup documentation for everything. One thing I would like you to, try to focus on, if you have, for instance, if you're working with another agent, you had another agent do some showings for you, or was at the inspection for you, and we need to pay them out, please make sure that information's on the folder front. Sometimes we get that after we've already closed, and just so you understand, once it's closed, it's really hard because we have to pull funds back, we have to undo the deal, we have to undo it with corporate, then put the information back in, re-close everything. You're going to delay that pay at least a week at that point, because there's so many moving parts to undo a deal once it's already been closed. So just please understand that the more information we have on there, the better we can do. And anytime, if you have any issue for some reason, I don't foresee it happening, where you're having an issue getting in touch with Brittany or Evelyn or Katie or even Jody, you guys all have my contact information. You can reach out to me. I'll do my best to respond quickly and make sure the issue is resolved. So for the most part, I just want to make sure I get the chat up here. This is pretty much who we have, and a lot of people ask the who's list. We're working on that right now. We didn't want to put it out without direct lines in place for people. So that's what Rob's almost got that completed on the corporate side here, so that we have direct lines for everyone. And once we have that, I know Brittany Swedberg already has the flyer ready to go with the who's who and emails and everything. So hopefully we should have that out. What, Rob, maybe next week we can get that out to everyone?
You should have it done by tomorrow, Joe. So.
Okay. So yeah, once we have that, it'll be going out to everyone. So everybody knows where everything is. And we're really trying to focus on making sure you guys have an understanding of where the flow goes. There's one person I didn't introduce. I didn't actually get to talk to her. You guys know her. She's been here for a long time, Debbie Z. I see her in the chat here, Debbie. So Debbie helps with all the onboarding. So really she's the first point of contact you guys have. We do work with Debbie. Debbie does do some deposits as well. Debbie, did you want to say anything?
Not a whole lot, but just welcome everybody. Hello, it's good to see you all. I am in the Danvers office, so I'm here Monday through Friday, and I do deposits and commission checks. So if you're in the area and you would rather hand deliver something, be happy to take care of it for you. You can always reach me by email or by cell phone, and I'm sure that'll be on the contact list if you need anything.
Yeah, Debbie will definitely be on the contact list as well. So she's another resource that we have, like she said. So the main offices we have Danvers, which Debbie is in, obviously Salem, which pretty much everybody else is in. And then we have Gary up in Maine. Is it Brunswick, Gary? I forget which office you're in. He's still.
I hide out in the Sanford office.
Sanford, thank you, Gary. So he's up in Sanford. That's mostly the locations that are centralized for Maine. And then we do have Cranston, Rhode Island down there as well. So that's our main locations right now. That's our main support focuses. And then obviously you have Sophie out there and, you know, a couple other people, and Jim's always, you know, moving around between places. So if you have any other questions, definitely feel free to email us, call us. We're here to support you guys. And if you guys find that there's an issue with a process, let us know. Something that's frustrating you. We're always willing to listen and to try to improve what we're doing. And so we're very open on that point. So, and we can only do it if you guys give us feedback. So that's pretty much all I had for today. It looks like everybody in the chat is pretty much just not many questions. Everybody seems to be taking care of everything there. So that's it. So I don't know if anybody else has a question, but that's pretty much the back end. Like I said, we're going to try to do this once a month, I think. It's a good forum. Hopefully you guys can give us a little feedback on that and see if you like that. But, you know, there's always new people coming in and more questions may come up. And I think if we're, you know, here once a month, you guys can bring up any changes you might want or looking for or stuff like that. So other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend and go sell a lot of houses.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.